Good morning, friends. It is story time at the Bartlesville Public Library. Be sure and stick around to until the end of story time today, because I'm going to tell you about a very special story time we're going to do next week on Wednesday at 10:30. So this week I just got a bunch of brand new books, and they're all kind of quirky. As I said last week, we've gotten tons of new picture books in lately. If you'd like to come and check them out, we've got a lot. But I pulled some kind of quirky ones today. You know that word quirky? It means they're funny, but a little weird. So let's start with our hello song. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? How are you today? I'm doing pretty well today. I hope you are too. We're going to start with one of our brand new quirky books. This was written by Todd Tarpley, illustrated by Tom Booth. It's called Library Books Are Not for Eating. You knew that, right? Library books are not for eating. But look, it seems someone has taken 2 big bites out of this library book. Library books are not for eating. Mrs. Bronte loves being a teacher, but she has one small problem. She also loves eating books. The day Mrs. Bronte came to school, story time was extra cool. She told great jokes, was never mean, biggest smile you'd ever seen. One small problem, couldn't beat it. Once she read a book, she'd eat it. She'd say, "The end," and you'd hear a crunch, then 3 or 4 more books by lunch. Miss Bronte, kids would keep repeating, library books are not for eating. Miss Bronte promised with a roar that she'd be eating books no more, but as soon as story time was done, oops, there'd go another one. Miss McSmartly called her in. "Miss Bronte, where do I begin? You're eating books. That isn't right. You need to curb your appetite. I think you know where this is leading. Library books are not for eating." Miss Bronte promised with a roar that she'd be eating books no more, but when Miss McSmartly turned her head, she ate up all her books instead. At lunchtime, when she ate 2 more, the lunchroom lady stomped the floor. "Miss Bronte, you must change your diet. Books taste yucky, don't deny it. Instead of books, try something new. My cottage cheese and meatball stew. We've got to rearrange your feeding. Library books are not for eating." Miss Bronte promised with a roar that she'd be eating books no more. She took 1 bite of cottage cheese, then ate 3 books of recipes. She took a walk to clear her head. Down to the soccer field she fled. Coach Burley blew his whistle loudly, pointing to his players proudly. "I've got problems of my own. A soccer field that's overgrown. Can't mow the grass, can't pick the weeds. You're not the only one with needs. Be a winner, no more cheating. Library books are not for eating." Miss Bronte promised with a roar that she'd be eating books no more, but as Coach Burley turned his gaze, she ate his book of soccer plays. Miss Bronte packed her bags that day. "I'm sorry, but I cannot stay. It's not that I find books so yummy, but nothing else here fills my tummy. If I could find a bulb or seed, a blade of grass, a bush, a weed." Suddenly, her plan was clear. She'd make the wild weeds disappear. All she had to do was eat 'em, let her appetite defeat 'em. Now Miss Bronte just eats weeds. They fill her dietary needs. The soccer team has gone unbeaten. Not a single book's been eaten. Every morning right at 9, Miss Bronte leads the story time, and every afternoon at 4, she's on the sidelines keeping score. The soccer field is good as new. Kids run and kick where weeds once grew. The moral of this tale you're reading, say it with me. Library books are not for eating. A happy tale this might have been, but then they hired Mr. Finn. And that is the end. All right, what else do we have? Here's a fun one. It's kind of appropriate for this week. We've been getting some rain, haven't we? This is called Soaked by Abby Cushman. Here's the back. There's nothing funny about this book, trust us, especially not the hula hooping moose. That's quirky. Soaked. Look at all this rain. Everything is dreary, everything is drenched, and no one is happy. Not that badger, not that bunny, not that hula hooping moose, and especially not me. Because the rain ruins everything. Ice cream cones, sand castles, cashmere sweaters, all the things that bears love. What's that you say? Why don't we just go inside my cave until the rain stops? Oh yeah, great idea. Doesn't feel crowded in here at all. The hula hoop's going whoosh, 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 whoosh. And sure, I'd love to use my umbrella, the one with the bumblebees on it, but everyone looked and no one can find it. Badger said she found her blue bumblebee umbrella, but not mine. Blah. I guess I'll just go sit on my log and wallow. Blah, blah, blah. Uh-oh. What's in the tree? I think the moose lost a hoop. Wait a minute. We can't have a hula hooping moose without a hula hoop, can we? Great, we got it. Now I can return to wallowing on my... Whoa! They are soaked now. Me? Try the hula hoop? Seriously? Okay, fine, but I won't have any fun. There, I did it. Totally unfun, just like I thought. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need a moment to myself. Not fun, huh? Look at all this rain. Everyone is splashing. Everyone is soaked. And it's so splishy and sploshy, silly and soggy. It's so... Oh, did the rain stop? Blah, too sunny. The end. There are just some bears and some people that are going to complain no matter what. Too rainy, too sunny, too windy. That's okay. Well, let's sing the raindrop song. That sounds fun. Since we read about rain, we'll sing about raindrops and snowflakes and sunbeams and mosquitoes. Okay? If all of the raindrops were lemon drops and gumdrops, oh, what a rain that would be. I'd stand outside with my mouth open wide going, ah, 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 ah. If all of the raindrops were lemon drops and gumdrops, oh, what a rain that would be. If all of the snowflakes were chocolate bars and milkshakes, oh, what a snow that would be. I'd stand outside with my mouth open wide going, ah, 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 ah. If all of the snowflakes were chocolate bars and milkshakes, oh, what a snow that would be. If all of the sunbeams were lemonade and ice cream, oh, what a sun that would be. I'd stand outside with my mouth open wide going, ah, 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 ah. If all of the sunbeams were lemonade and ice cream, oh, what a sun that would be. If all the mosquitoes were nacho Doritos, oh, what a world that would be. I'd stand outside with my mouth open wide going, ah, 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 ah. If all the mosquitoes were nacho Doritos, oh, what a world that would be. That's a fun one. Okay. This book by Tara Lube and Becky Caddy, illustrated by Victoria Moderna, is called, do you like Vikings? Ronan the Librarian. Ronan was a mighty barbarian, a leader of his people. He invaded, he raided, and back home he traded. Ronan was legendary for finding the best pillage, gold, jewelry, weapons, and tools. Everyone wanted to trade with him, until one raid went horribly wrong. What's that in the chest? A bunch of books and papers? What's this? He roared. This is worthless. Ronan tried to barter, but no one would make a deal. Barbarians didn't read books. Ronan took the book home. Oofda, what am I going to do with this useless thing? Kindling? Origami? Toilet paper? Yes, that's it. Then a picture caught his eye. Ronan read the first sentence, then a paragraph, then a whole page. Before he knew it, he had devoured an entire chapter. He read until the moon was high in the sky. The next day, Ronan didn't meet the raiding party. He must have overslept, said Crom. Let's go wake him. Ronan, you dunga, what are you doing? Asked Gunnar. I'm reading, Ronan said. This book is epic. Do you want to borrow it? Have you gone berserk? Barbarians don't read. We raid, said Helgai. His friends were right. Ronan tucked the book away and went raiding like a good barbarian, but he couldn't stop thinking about the book. When the raid was over, he charged home and read straight through to the end. Ronan was hooked. He needed a new book, so he invaded and raided and read. He invaded and raided and read. He invaded and raided and read. The fierce raider became a fierce reader, and soon his massive collection of books threatened to devour him. So Ronan came up with a solution to tame the beast. He built a library. He even threw a grand opening celebration. But barbarians do not read books. Crom judged the books by their covers. Too sparkly, too kissy, too wimpy. Gunnar valued brawn over brains. Reading doesn't have a point, spears have points. Helgai was too busy to read. How could Ronan get his people to see that books were treasures? Oofda, I must conquer my own village, he declared. He picked up his book, held it high, and began to read aloud. The troll roared as Odin snatched the urn of Unkar and raced to his ship. The crew rowed out to sea when out of the depths rose the terrifying kraken. Odin held on to the urn for dear life as he drew his sword. That's the story he's reading. But the shipbuilders continued sawing, the blacksmiths didn't stop hammering, and the potters kept on spinning their wheels. It was a crushing defeat. But look, isn't there someone looking at the books? Someone got interested. At daybreak, Ronan went to his library. Oofda, I've been invaded. And raided? It was his greatest victory yet. This guy says, what was in the urn? Did he clobber the kraken? What did Odin do next? The library was full of barbarians. He issued library cards, he recommended books, he read to the younglings. It turns out barbarians do read books. Ronan was a mighty librarian, a leader of his people. They invaded, they raided, and they read. That's the end. Now, some of the new books we got are kind of special because they are nominees for the 2021 Redbud Award. This is kind of a new award that's only been around for 3 or 4 years, I think. But every year, a selection of about 15 books are chosen to be on the Redbud Read Aloud Award list. And then later on during the school year, late in the school year, the winner is voted on by children all over Oklahoma. A lot of them do this in their school libraries or their classrooms. So we've got 2 copies of all of the 2021, that's wrong, Redbud nominees. And this is what the label looks like on the spine. We've got them shelved all together here at the library. So each week during story time, I want to read one of the Redbud books to you. So today I chose the quirkiest Redbud book I could find. What are these little hairy things above your eyes? Can you see mine? Eyebrows. How do you feel about your eyebrows? Have you thought about them very much? This is about a boy with crazy eyebrows. It's written by Jason Carter Eaton and illustrated by Mike Petrick. It's called Bad Brows. Would you look at those? Bad Brows. Again, this is one of the Redbud nominees. These are chosen as some of the best read aloud books for the state of Oklahoma. Bernard never really gave much thought to his eyebrows. Until the day they went bad. At first he thought his eyebrows were just a bit rumpled, so he smoothed them out. But at breakfast, "What's with the goofy face?" asked his dad. "I don't know," said Bernard. "It's my eyebrows." "Mom," screamed his brother, "Bernard's making funny faces at me." "You better not do that when Grandpa wakes up," scolded his mom. "Eyebrow," added his baby sister. The bus ride to school was highbrow. Class was lowbrow. And picture day was absolutely weird brow. All day long, Bernard's eyebrows worked hard to confound him. He liked today as lunch, but it didn't seem that way. He found the math lesson easy, but it sure didn't look like it. Bernard was starting to panic, but he appeared quite calm. The principal tried to straighten Bernard out. "Bernard, your eyebrows are your face's way of telling other people how you feel. They show when you're happy, sad, scared, excited, curious, or angry. Do you understand?" Bernard nodded. "Then why doesn't it look like you're taking this seriously?" asked the principal. "I wish I knew," said Bernard, and he was sent home anyway. Home was no better, though. "Excuse me," scolded his mom, "are you scowling at the goldfish?" "Not on purpose," groaned Bernard. Perhaps his eyebrows just needed some grooming, so his parents took him to the barber. "Oh, those are sure some wild eyebrows you got there, son. Don't worry, we'll have them tamed in no time." But the moment the barber approached Bernard's brows, they went into hiding. "Never mind," sighed Bernard. Perhaps his eyebrows were ill, so Bernard's parents took him to the doctor. But when he left, they were far worse. Are you kidding me? Bernard's brows weren't just bad anymore. They were dangerous. They were dastardly. They were downright disgusting. Bernard was absolutely miserable. It seemed as though he was doomed to a life with bad brows, until there was a knock at the door. It was his real eyebrows. He'd recognize them anywhere. Those bad ones must have been imposters. Well, looks like he got his normal eyebrows back. Wonder where they went. Bernard was himself again, even though he never really learned why his eyebrows went on vacation, because eyebrows can't talk. That would be silly. Bernard was thrilled to have them back, and he would never take his eyebrows for granted again. "I know I never really thought about you before, brows," said Bernard, "but from now on, you'll always be on my mind." And they were. Bernard and his eyebrows enjoyed making many exciting expressions that night, and as he climbed into bed, Bernard lovingly smoothed out his eyebrows and drifted off to sleep, reflecting on what a long, strange day it had been. "Wait," said Bernard, waking up with a start. "If these are my eyebrows, then whose bad brows were on my face? And more importantly, where did they go?" "Eyebrow," says baby sister. This reminds me of another book we have called Mustache Baby. And that is the end. Now, I was going to tell you about next week's story time. So, next Wednesday, September 9th, is National Teddy Bear Day. So Miss Melissa, my other children's librarian friend here at the library, has put together a really cool story time for next week. Okay, so she's going to read some teddy bear stories and I think play the song at the Teddy Bears Picnic. And we're going to have our own Teddy Bears Picnic set up here during story time. Doesn't that sound fun? And we encourage you to get your teddy bears or whatever toy animals you might have and set up a picnic with them and enjoy that during our story time next week. There is a post on BPL's Facebook page about this. It looks like this. So you don't have to wait until next Wednesday to set up your teddy bear picnic. We'd really like for you to have a teddy bear picnic with your friends between now and then. Take a picture of it and post it in the comments of this Facebook post. And then we'll print them off and show them to everyone during next week's story time, okay? So next week, 10:30, Wednesday, September 9th, we're celebrating Teddy Bear Day by having a teddy bear picnic story time with Miss Melissa. And we'd like you to have one at home with your teddy bear friends. Send us a picture, post it in the comments of this Facebook page, and we'll show those during next week's story time. All right? Sounds fun. A lot of us librarians brought our teddy bears to the library for our story time teddy bear picnic. All right, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.